Hello, one and all, and welcome to the podcast we call the Fantastival, with myself, Steve Nussbaum, in the podcast where I invite my guests to come on and talk to me all about their musical tastes, their memories, their experiences, and they get to collect their fancy festivals, which I have christened Fantastivals. We are now on episode number 182. Hello, welcome back. I hope this finds everyone well. Mid-July, hope everyone is enjoying the sunshine. The summer holidays are almost here and I can't wait. I just want to say thank you to everyone who listened to episode 181 with Ryan Dunn. What a great lad. Really looking forward to seeing what he does next, and I really enjoyed talking to him and loved his fantasy festival lineup. So if you've not heard that one, please go back into the Fantastival vaults and give 181 a listen. So that was the previous episode. Today we are all about 182 on this brand new episode of the Fantastival Podcast. And this week I'm delighted to have this gentleman return. He featured as part of the Murdered Song of the Day collective on our Christmas special back in 2023, episode 150. It's taken 32 episodes to get him back, but he's here. It's his own episode. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. James Houston.
Good evening, fella. How are you?
I'm all good. Like I was saying before we press record, I've been looking forward to this all day. Sometimes you have busy days at work and you just think, get me through the day so I can go and record a podcast with James Houston. So I'm very happy, mate. I'm very happy. So as you well know, I always like to start the pod by asking my guests how they are. I think it's really important we talk about mental health. And I know it's something that's close to you. We're going to talk about it in terms of the event you've got coming up, and there's a mental health element to that. But James, I just want to check in. How are you, mate?
Yeah, finally getting there. Had probably the worst 18 months ever, with losing my mum and my dad in the space of like 9 months. But yeah, getting through it now and getting back to a bit of normality, if you can call it that, normal life. Yeah, so it's helped having this event coming up. I think that's helped with quite a lot of focus. So yeah, a bit down, but back to normal, kind of.
Yeah, I know the feeling, mate. My mum obviously passed away on Christmas Eve last year, and the grief never really goes away. You saw about how you kind of move forward and cope with it. For me, like, the podcast is a fantastic distraction, but that kind of sadness is always lurking, I think.
Totally agree. And it's just trying to find a new level of normal after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here
we are, right. That's enough doom and gloom. Let's try and get through this one now with smiles on our faces. So, James, I'm going to take you back to your childhood. We're going to find out all about kind of the early musical influence and memories of Mr. James Houston. So, James, what was your earliest musical memories? What do you remember about being young and music?
My earliest, I would probably have to say it would be my older sister. She was into the Smiths right from the very start. A bit of The Cure, Deep in Blue. Kind of had a very eclectic mix. And mixed in with my mum and dad, who my mum listened to a lot of Motown. She listened to a lot of the Drifters specifically. And my dad was more 70s rock, Free, Black Sabbath. So it was a bit eclectic in our household. And then my own kind of tastes, it was a bit embarrassing. It was a bit of 5-star Ross. Not proud to admit, but yeah, that was the limit I was at that point.
You can't hide the truth on the Fantastival Podcast, James. We're here to share memories as honest and as corny as what they think they may be. What were your first records in? I guess it was down a very pop route, or maybe it wasn't. What were your first records?
No, the first one I ever got was Salt and Pepper Push It, 12-inch. That was a low point. When you look back at it, you go, oh. But I think I was, 10, 11 when I first got that. And before then, it was like free kind of things you used to get in comic books, look-in comic. They had like vinyl attached to it. You could put on top of a 6-inch record and play it in that. It was just some randoms in my collection.
It seems crazy, doesn't it? It seems crazy that you'd get a free record with a magazine. Like, looking today, that would like never happen. But back then, it was just like the norm of looking or smash hits that you'd get a free like 7-inch like stuck with glue to the front of the cover.
Yep, it was crazy. But some of it was like really flimsy. It wasn't like proper vinyl. You'd actually sit it on top of a vinyl and then listen to it. It was crazy back then. So
when would you say, I guess, your music taste evolved in? So everyone, I guess, has that kind of early phase of like your Salt and Peppers, like you said, your 5-stars and your Bros. When did you start getting, I don't know, I guess, your own musical taste? What were the first bands that really meant something to you then?
I'd probably say early 90s, 92, 93. We'd moved, when we were young, when I moved from Glasgow, I moved to America for a year. And then I left there and come back due to homesickness. And that's when I started getting into like my own kind of music terms. I fell in love with Spiral Carpets, and then that kind of drifted very quickly to listening to hardcore techno, which was bonkers. Looking back at it, I don't know why. And then after, I don't think the indie music ever left me. I think that was more down to like my dad's influence with like the rock music. I kind of still hankered for the guitar music, and yeah, I kind of fell back in. So I'd probably say early 90s. As soon as Oasis really came out, that's when I developed my own kind of taste.
I know every kind of generation obviously thinks their musical upbringing or their early teens when they found music was like the best period. But I've got to say, I think we're of a similar age, but that early 90s, mid 90s, there really was something for everyone, whether it was indie, grunge, dance music, pop music. It just seems to be an absolutely amazing golden time.
Yeah, it was fantastic when you look back at it. And yeah, I was still dip into it, the dance music, techno music, but I was growing more and more into like indie music, and the amount of bands that were back then, and they're unspoken of now. So there's Whiteout was a band for Scotland. They were heralded as going to be the next big thing. I think they had like 2 songs, disappeared, and they were great. They were really, really good. I remember them. They played at the very first tee in the park, and I remember climbing over the fence to go to that, sneaking in, and they were playing, and that was our highlight.
So when did you start getting involved, I guess, in playing the guitar? We're also going to come on to Murdered Song of the Day and kind of how that came out, but in terms of like your first initial steps into playing, was that when you were starting to find indie, or does that come later? When did you start getting into it?
Actually later. I was probably close to leaving high school when I first really decided to try playing guitar. It's not something that was never ever thought I was musically, I'm probably still not musically inclined, but just to give it a go. After listening to Definitely Maybe, it was just that hit me. It was like, what was the song? Married with Children from Oasis on Definitely Maybe. That just hit me. I was like, right, need to get a guitar. And from there, I've kind of dabbled in and out over the past 30 odd years.
And what about singing? Have you always been able to sing and hold a tune? Because I think, once you know how to play guitar, you know how to play guitar. I guess it could be quite similar to singing, although I can play guitar, but I can't sing. So what about the singing element for you? Has that always been something you've been willing to do, or has that come later as well?
I've always been singing. I always remember my dad telling me to shut up every night. Every time I had music on, he would always bang the door and want to sing to the level of the music that you're listening to, instead of screeching over the top of it. And that was back in the days when you had Walkmans. It was like the personal tape players. Yeah, I was listening to that and singing. Well, it was very good. I don't know, because I couldn't hear it because everything was so loud. But no, it was from an early age. I always loved singing. Even growing up, when I first met my wife, we were going out and we were going to karaoke, and it was me against my father in the competitions, just trying to, just try to outdo each other, quite sadly.
And I guess, was there any ambition for you? Did you ever think, I want to join a band, or I want to do this? Or was it always like just lay back and see what happens and see what comes of it?
No, there was never any ambitions at all. It was just more fun, just kind of a pastime, a hobby. And then as soon as I bumped into Mr. Telfer on Twitter, it kind of kicked up a gear and tried and started to write songs, and I was like, a bit of a wee spark kicked in.
So you've mentioned Mr. Telford. He was my guest back in episode 135. So I think it's probably fair to say you're one of the founding forefathers of the Murdered Song of the Day hashtag, along with Steve. So when that initial kind of idea is pitched, tell us how that came about. So I know there was a big community on Twitter that leads to indie disco. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. It all comes through indie disco and the connections that start coming through from there, right?
Yep, it did. We had very few drunken Friday nights during COVID, and indie disco was on. And I think I was talking to Paul Nixon, the musician from Manchester, talking to him through it. And there was Sean McLaughlin, who is not on Twitter anymore, brilliant guy. And they two introduced me to Stevie. And we all got talking, talked about our love of playing guitar, music. And then we started posting to try and say, what do you think of this and what do you think? Giving a bit of feedback, and then Steve just came up with, let's just use this hashtag so nobody can come back at us and say, that's rubbish. So, yeah, it stuck.
It is quite a brilliant hashtag. So let's go back then to your first murdered song of the day. Now, we've spoke about this in 150, or I've got notes when I was looking and I stumbled across them. So tell me about your first murdered song of the day, what that was, how you were feeling beforehand, and the reaction that you got to it.
I knew you were going to ask this because I can't remember what my first one was.
I can.
I think it was Oasis.
I've got Talk Tonight by Oasis. I've got hashtag shitting bricks.
That would be the very one, yes. Yeah, I had a feeling it would be Oasis, but that was horrible. That's like burying your soul to like the world. We went on. It's like as soon as you press the red button on your phone, you're like, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And it took about 40 takes. Honestly, it took about an hour to get one song done, and there were a lot of expletives, a lot of temper tantrums. But yeah, that was the first one, and then it just gradually grew. I feel sorry for the poor people that I tagged.
When you say it grew, like it certainly did, right? Because obviously it starts with a quite small bunch of you, like you said, but it grew into this huge community where you've got people from all parts of the UK, fair to say all over the world, right? Because I've seen Diana, who's been on this podcast, do a murdered song of the day. I've seen people in America do it, across different continents do it, across Europe do it. So I guess, are you surprised with how much it kind of took off and in how much that community that you helped build, like how it grew over the next couple of years?
It's amazing. It is just how far it went. I mean, there was points where there was kids using the hashtag, performing, doing like, songs, and it was just really, really good. Surreal to actually look at it and to look back still to this day and see how many people use that hashtag when they're performing like just songs in their kitchen. It's great. It is a really great feeling to know that you've actually helped these people come out their shell and just doing exactly the same stuff as what we're doing, just winging it.
Well, it's still going really strong, right? I know you posted, it's getting better, didn't you? You posted an Oasis one, I think, a few days ago, and that got a huge reaction.
Yeah, I was quite amazed at the reaction to that one because like I said, I've not been really feeling it really with playing music, but a lot of people are getting involved in the Oasis get together and all the gigs, so I thought I'd throw myself back in, and yeah, the feedback's been, it always is really good because the community they're so supportive. They're just a fantastic group of people, and I really, really cannot wait to meet every one of them and give them £5 for every comment that they've given me.
Well, you spoke about meeting them. We're going to come to that. I guess let's come to that now then, right? So at the moment, Murder Song of the Day has mainly been a hashtag on social media. I know when we were on episode 150, there was an ambition for you guys to go and record something. I remember you saying I think you just got equipment to go and build like a home studio, and you're looking forward to that. So you spoke a bit about maybe what the future held in terms of recording, and you did say the dream is to try and get everyone together at an open mic night. And a few weeks ago, that night was finally confirmed. I believe you found a venue. We have a date. That's all been announced on Twitter. I won't talk about it. I'll let you talk about it. So it's all happening. It's on the way, James. Tell us about that big event that's on the way.
Yep, we're having a Murdered Song of the Day open mic. I think we've called it Sing for Your Supper because we might as well get some money in. And it's in Carlisle on the 13th of September. I can't remember the name of the venue. I will find that out. That's poor planning on my behalf. But no, it's good. We've got a lot of people turning up to perform. There's obviously going to be myself, Stevie Telf, Jimmy K's coming up. Obviously Steve McLernan's coming over from Ireland. So yeah, it's actually everybody that's used the hashtag coming up, and there's a lot of folk coming up just for support because we're having an indie disco at the end of it as well, just to kind of a bit of reminiscence. I think Scott Shaw, one of the original members, is coming up too, which I'm really happy because I've never met him face to face. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We're doing it all. We're doing a lot of proceeds, so we're going to try and raise a lot of money as well because we're doing stuff for Mind, Body and Soul and also Macmillan Cancer, because we were all kind of touched in a certain way. We're like with Kimberly Forsyth. I met her once and just the presence was just, it's just a soul, an absolute soul, genuine, honest you could get, and yeah, she'll be missed. So that was Macmillan was a cause that she was raising for, so we're kind of going to raise money for that in Kim's memory.
Yeah, one of my biggest regrets, I never actually met Kimbo. I obviously had her on the podcast. We WhatsApped each other quite a lot. She always used to comment after the episode. One of my biggest regrets, I think, probably in my 45 years, is I didn't go to the sessions in Manchester. And I look back and there were so many great bands. You look back and the Heavy North were there. and Sylvie was there. And I just think, what was it? Why on earth didn't I just get on the train on that morning and just go down there and spend the night there and have that amazing evening? And Paula was there and the two Lauras were there. I just think, you absolute moron. What a night you missed because you just didn't get round to it. I think there was a reason. I think there was something why I couldn't go. But I look back now and I just think, why don't you just go down there and meet them all and just like hang out and spend time? But I guess you live and learn, which is why I'm going to try and get to Carlisle on the 13th of September, because I want the opportunity to not spend some time with you, with Stevie, with Scott, like you said, with various people been on the podcast. And you're bound to get people who you don't know will rock up there and surprise you there for that evening. It's going to be just a glorious night, right?
Yeah, it is going to be a great night. Just to get everyone together. It's just going to be. It's weird about a high school reunion that you've never went to school with. That's the only way I can think about it. Like, you've never been to school with these people, but it's a reunion, kind of.
Yeah, that's a great analogy of it. And like you said, you're doing stuff, so you're raising money for Macmillan, Mind, Body and Soul. I know you're doing raffles, and from what I can see in terms of raffle prizes, you're getting some pretty great prizes together that have been donated by a new music artist. I saw on Twitter, Babby Youngblood has donated some of his artwork. You've got a great combination of raffle prizes. There's lots of great prizes to be won. Raffle, I think, I might be wrong, it's not just going to be for people who go to that open mic night, right? It's going to be available for anyone to buy tickets via social media.
Yeah, we're going to open it up. Once I start getting the prizes in, we're going to open it up to just folk on the social media, and we'll start putting it out there so we can get as much money as we can raise for these two great charities. I mean, we've got signed Kay's album, we've got two great vinyls from the great Leslie. So far, I think Steve Prince is donating a signed Apollo Junction. We're getting stuff from the Sherlocks. That's going to be great. We've got so many prizes on their way. Like you said, Baba Youngblood donating great artwork as well. So there'll be something for everybody. So yeah, we're going to be, the begging tweets are going to be coming out shortly for people to put their hands in their pockets.
And like you said, 13th September, right? So that's a Saturday night. So no one's got work in the morning. It's a Sunday, so you can go, you can spend the night, you can have a great time, and you can go to bed late if you want, get up late if you want on the Sunday, no work, and recover on the Sunday, back to work on the Monday, so everyone's a winner.
Yes, I think the Station Hotel in Carlisle is going to be the after party by the sounds of it. Because I think Kelly Creswell's booked in there, I'm in there, Stevie McLernand's in, I think Lel's in as well, Leslie Ann, she's in, Jimmy Kay's in. Yeah, it's going to be an after party in there if you fancy it.
Sounds like it's going to be a great night. Like we said, that's going to be all over Twitter. Obviously, get pushed by so many people. Let me ask you, James, when you record your videos now, do you still get nervous? Do you still get the butterflies just before that red light comes on?
Absolutely, and it still takes about 40 attempts to try it. Yeah, but do you know what? It's enjoyable, but you still get the fear. Because you know out there on social media, there's always going to be one or two people that are just going to think it's going to be funny to do at least a little snide comment here or there. I've yet to see one, touch wood, might not be one, but you still get it. You still get the fear of you get people heckling, but I suppose you're an adult, you need to put up with it and take it. You're putting yourself out there, you're there to be shot at, so
I'd say most. I've barely seen any negative comments on it. I guess you can get a few idiots online, but it seems to be a very tight community. How are you feeling about the 13th in terms of playing that? Because I think you've done a few open mics, you said, so I don't know what your live experience actually goes to, but how are you feeling about actually getting up on that stage and performing in front, I guess, your fellow peers and maybe people who you don't know?
That's going to be a difficult one, because I've only done one open mic and I was a nervous wreck. I was absolute. Yeah, my first hashtag, shitting bricks. It was terrifying, because I thought it was going to be a local pub, 5 o'clock on a Friday. You're thinking it'll be quiet before everyone gets in. No, it was rammed. Everybody had finished work early, just absolute wall-to-wall packed. And there's I'm up trying to sing, and I got nervous. I had to walk off mid-song, my first one, to kind of regather myself and then go back on. And I think I did 2 or 3 songs, and the support, it was amazing. People just that you don't know going, come on, you can do it. Up you go, go up and do it. And that's just the kind of thing you need. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was good. So I'm going to try and get another few in before performing to the poor people from Twitter live in the flesh. But I'm looking forward to it. I will be nervous, but yeah, I think everyone will be nervous.
Yeah.
As much as you think you know these people through social media, face to face will be completely different.
Yeah, I think it's good to get the nerves. I think if you're nervous, I think it means something to you. I think if you weren't nervous, I think it'd probably be more concerning. So that's going to be great. Let me ask you. I asked you this in episode 150. Do you have a favourite cover that you've done, or favourite covers where you've recorded one and you've gone, actually, that is rather good, isn't it? And when you've kind of submitted, you've been like, yeah, I know that's decent.
I think the last one I done, the last one I said to you the last time, I think it might have been my Rayleigh Montaigne one.
Yeah.
But there was one I did an Oasis one, and what one it was now? Oh, it was definitely an Oasis one, but it was recently, I think it was the beginning of this year, I did it, and yeah, I just absolutely loved it. As soon as I heard, I played it, I went, oh, I'm having that one, that's up there. That was me, I was quite happy. It was actually from my later Oasis album, so yeah, I was quite happy with that. So that's kind of taken over, the Holy Grail.
And to anyone listening to this podcast who is aware of the hashtag and thought, well, I'd always like to do it, but I'm a bit nervous, I'm not sure I could do it. For anyone kind of sitting there, what would your message be to anyone maybe on the fence about putting up a video, hashtag Murder Song of the Day? What would you say to them?
Go for it. You've got nothing to lose. Honestly, it's even if you do get 1 or 2 negative comments, there's about 50 or 60 positives that will shoot them out the water. That will just go, look, you don't know what you're talking about. These people are trying. First time they're trying it, give them a break. And there's constructive feedback you get as well. And it's just so supportive, such a supportive community. As soon as you use that hashtag, the people they're the kindest people you could possibly get. They give you an inflated ego.
Great stuff. We'll obviously recap on the event at the end of the podcast. I'm really looking forward to that and the build up to that. I think it's going to be a very special week in the build up as well. James, let me ask you, at the moment, I'm listening to Hope of the States again. I'm going to see them in October. I'm very excited about that. I've been listening to Ryan Dunn quite a lot. I'm still listening to lots of the replacements. There's lots of great music out at the moment. But what are you listening to, James?
Just now, I'm going through a lot of the Painting, Arcade State.
Oh.
Going through a lot of their stuff again. And the new Sherlock's album has not been off my vinyl player for a long time. That's absolutely fantastic. Love them. Love that band. So I'm going to be entering that raffle so I can get the signed CDs that are there. But no, I've been through a lot of 90s as well. I've got a wee playlist I made up a lot of the old stuff as well. So still floating into Ocean Colour Scene, Charlatans, Melting Pot. I've been playing when I'm out walking. So yeah, it's just kind of delving back into the old days.
Very nice, very nice. I mean, the Paint, I love, if anyone who listens to this podcast knows how much I love Arcade State, or the Painting as they're now. I know a new album coming out soon, and they said they've gone back to kind of their original roots, gone a bit lighter from the heavier sound they were getting. So I'm really looking forward to that album. Yeah, I'm a bit like you with the old kind of 90s stuff. Since the Oasis, I was quite sceptical of the Oasis thing, but I think like anyone, when you saw the videos from Cardiff, you've looked at it and gone, wow, I mean, what a band. And then I'm sure everyone's watched all the videos that they can see, but they sound great. And to be fair, I wasn't sure they would, but they sound brilliant, don't they? And then it just brings back all that momentum, and all the early 90s stuff just comes straight back to you, doesn't it?
It does, it really does. And I'm so happy that Caster's there as well.
Yeah.
One of my favourite bands. Absolutely love them. I went to see John Power doing his talking tour. It was brilliant just listening to them talk his stories. So yeah, good to see them getting a good kick as well, and getting pushed back on and getting a bit more with their new album coming out as well. So yes, it's good. I'm looking forward. I'm actually going to Murrayfield to go and see Oasis. So 2 weeks on Friday, I'll be there, jumping about like a 19-year-old again, and then feeling it the Saturday morning.
Amazing. Very envious. I think that Scottish crowds are always brilliant anyway, aren't they? So let alone, the crowd's been brilliant for Oasis anyway, in Cardiff and Manchester so far, but there's something about Scottish crowds, I think it's just going to absolutely go off, isn't it? From literally the first chord of Hello to the last chord they play, it's just going to be full on.
Yeah, I think so, and I hope that Richard Ashcroft doesn't need to say anything about Shazam while he's when he's in Edinburgh. I think we'll all know his songs.
Brilliant. So, James, this podcast, as you well know, it's all about you collating your fantasy festival. Are you a big fan of festivals? Have you been to many? I've
been to a few. I think the last one I went was 2010, Tea in the Park in Balado. I think Kasabian were headlining, and Jay-Z was there. Eminem and the Prodigy were all there that week. So yeah, it was a bit of an eclectic one. But that was the last big festival that I've been to. But there was a few when I was younger. My sister took me when I just come back from America. We moved to Motherwell, and my sister took me through to Glasgow. They were celebrating the European City of Culture in 1990, and they had a big day out, and there was like about 6 or 7 stages throughout Glasgow city centre, and they had like bands like Deep and Blue, Hue and Cry, Billy Bragg was there, Texas, Wet Wet Wet, it was Goodbye Mr Mackenzie, they were all playing. It was an absolutely brilliant day, and that kind of sparked a wee bit as well with the music. It was just such a good day. And then after that, first tee in the park, down at Sarclade Park, which is 10 minutes from where the stage is now. So you could hear that everywhere. So we decided to go down and climb over the fence and sneak in the first one because the security wasn't as tight. I think that was the first one Oasis played it, but they weren't headlining, they were very low down. Travis were there as Glass Onion. Cypress Hill, Rage Against the Machine were all there. So yeah, it was pretty good.
Amazing. I mean, some of that artists, that could be a Fantastival in itself, couldn't it, really? So again, no spoilers, but do you have a favourite gig, and if by someone who isn't in your lineup?
Who isn't in my lineup?
Yeah.
The band, my favourite gig's a band that's in my lineup.
All right, we'll come back to that one. And all right, let's crack on then. So the aim of the Fantastival podcast is getting our guests. So James gets to collate his fantasy festival. He gets to choose any 5 acts, one of whom must play one of their studio albums in full. And James gets to pick an encore, which all of his 5 acts can perform together to end his fantasy festival. That can be any song ever recorded by any artist. So very simple for any first-time listeners. 5 acts, 5 time slots. We have an opening act, a super seconds, a midway madness, a pre-headline act, and a headline act. And like I said, they all get to play an encore. But James, before we get to talk about your acts, very importantly, we need to give your fantasy festival a name and a venue. So, Mr. Houston, I know you've had massive dilemmas over your lineup. What about the name? Has the name been easy for you, or has the name been troublesome?
The name's actually been quite easy because I stay away out in the country. So I've decided to call this one Indie Fields.
Indie Fields, I like it. All right, I've got Indie Fields. I take it you're going to hold this somewhere close to where you live then, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm holding it at the place where the first ever Tee in the Park was held in Strathclyde Country Park.
Great.
Just for old memories. It was a great venue. Sadly, moved away up to Perth, away from all the city dwellers.
All right, we've got Indie Fields. It's in the first venue for tea in the park. All right, great venue, great name. Like you know, you only get 5 acts. We don't mess around on this podcast. You're only getting 5, James. I know it's been very difficult for you. Before we talk about the 5, have you got honourable mentions for any acts who you love but just aren't making it into Indie Fields?
I've got... How long have you got for the honourable mention? I've got like the Lathams, Oasis, obviously they've not made it.
Oh, Oasis haven't, mate. All right, okay, all right.
No, they've not made it. Shed 7, Pulp. You've probably got the new bands as well, like the Dictator. Even I was contemplating putting Yon Man in as well, Roy.
Yeah.
But it's a hard choice. A hard choice, and it's up until just before I come on, it was chopping and changing. So yeah, I've got my five in now. Eventually,
right, he's ready. I mean, some big acts aren't coming with us. Oasis, Shed 7, Pulp, Dictator. I think you picked Dictator for your choice of artists in the Christmas special, from what I can remember. So Dictator, great band, just announced a small tour, I think in November, which is great. Coming to London. Great to
looking forward to it.
Yeah, great to see him come back to London. I'm sure they'll get a massive turnout there. And obviously Roy, looking forward to his solo album, which is out soon as well. Great artist, great couple of albums with the Shed project. So looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. But like we said, we can only take 5 in. All right, Indie Fields sold out. Lovely sunny day. It's 2:00. Time to welcome your opening act onto the stage, Mr. Houston. So who are you going to have open Indie Fields?
I'm going to have Jamie Webster opening Indie Fields. Because if there's anybody that can get a crowd going, the young man from Liverpool can do that. Every time I've seen him live and videos of him live, the crowd are absolutely frenetic. It's just jumping, energy galore. And even for Jamie on stage, he's just constant energy. He's constantly on the go. So yeah, I think he would be ideal to open up any festival. Was he always your first choice for opener? It sounds like you probably had him in mind for the opening, but was he always your first choice? It was a toss-up between Jamie and quite possibly the Shed project would have been the openers and Jamie would have been moved up one. But yeah, it's just Jamie came in. I threw in another one at the last minute, somebody further on down there. I was like, I forgot about them. She's quite bad.
For Jamie Webster, I mean, I know a little bit. I don't know about him too much. I've heard of some songs. I thought, actually, that's a great artist there. And I keep meaning to go back and listen to him, but I really haven't done so. So I definitely will following this. Are there any tracks for you that stand out that you've got to hear and play at Indie Fields?
Something in the Air, which is quite a slow, melodic one. See, if it's going to be a sunny day, just to kind of, for the start it, that's perfect. And then you've got This Place, which is about Liverpool, his hometown. That always gets the place going. Days Unknown, Davy Kane. There's just he's two albums. I think he's got 3 albums maybe, but the first 2 are absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Just so full of energy and quite a good take on modern culture as well. When you listen to him, he's got his finger on the pulse for what's going on out with the music world. So yeah, he resonates with a lot of people and with myself as well. So yeah, I think it would be very good to open at any festival.
All right, Jamie Webster, first time he's been picked in the Fantastival. So he's making his Fantastival debut at Indie Fields. He's going to play from 2 till 3. We're going to take a half-hour break. That takes to 3:30. And it'll be time for your Super Second act to take the stage. So James, 1 act down, 4 to go. Who's taking your Super Second slot?
Ocean Colour Scene. Just, I don't even think I need to say anything else. They're just such a good band. Such a good band. The back catalogue's just, I could actually pick them to play a full album, but I couldn't single it down to one album for Ocean Colour Scene. I've got so many great songs.
Talking of great songs, again, I mean, I was in the car, I think, yesterday, and I think You Got It Bad come on, and I was like, mate, you wouldn't even have this as like one of the top 5 Ocean Colour Scene songs, but it's absolutely blinding. So I remember Moseley Shoals, I remember being at Nebworth and Ocean Colour Scene playing and blowing me away, and I bought Moseley Shoals, I think, the day after Nebworth, seeing them. Obviously been lucky enough to host Damon, the former bass player, on the podcast, who spoke about some amazing memories for Ocean Colour Scene. But any tracks, I guess you've got the obvious ones like Riverboat Song and 100 Mile City High. Any other songs you would have to hear live for you?
Robin Hood from the C-Sides, B-Sides and Free Rides album, July. I think that would be amazing in the sunshine. Just that opening guitar riff is just, it's just filthy. Filthy in the best possible way. It's just, a lot of stuff, I'd probably say, stuff in Marching Already as well. Travellers tune would be a good one to hear live as well. So just to go through, just the stuff in Moseley Shoals, Marching Already, that kind of the time for Ocean Colour Scene at the pomp, be great.
Great stuff. All right, great choice. Third time Ocean Colour Scene have been picked on the Fantastival podcast. All 3 times have been a Super Seconds act. Funny enough, Michael Forsyth, Kimbo's brother, picked them the first time, and then they were picked by Chris Griffiths from The Real People. So you're in good company there, James. You've picked a great band, along with some great people who've picked them before. So Ocean Colour Scene are going to play from 3:30 till 4:30. We're going to take another break, and that will take us to our midway madness point. And this next act is going to play from 5 till 6. So James, who are going to be your midway madness act?
It's got to be my namesake. It's got to be James. just like I said, another band with a phenomenal back catalogue. Yeah, I seen them live last year. Saw them live in Glasgow with Razorlight supporting them, and Tim Booth's just still got it. His voice was amazing. So yeah, absolutely brilliant band. One of my favourite live band I've seen of all time, James. That's.
Why is that then? Is that just the feeling you get when you see him live? Is it the kind of crowd interaction? Why? It's a very big statement to make your favourite live band. What is it about them that makes them stand out for you as a live act?
It's the songs. I just really get a wee personal kind of connection with some of the songs. It's like certain memories it just triggers with some of them. They just kick in, and when you go to see them live and you just see the energy for the band, still to this day, the energy with the band on stage for all the years that they've been going, and they're still absolutely blowing me out the water for just watching them. It's a fantastic band.
Amazing. That's great to hear that. I like Ocean Colour Scene. This is the 3rd time James have been picked, and all previous times have been midway madness acts as well. So they picked early on by Jeremy Michael, who was a great guest back in the day, and Maz Marriott more recently as well. So they've been picked 3 times. They're going to do a great set. They're going to play for an hour and give us a great hour at that. So James in Midway Madness. We're going to take another half-hour break. That takes us to 6:30. We're 3 acts down. We've got 2 acts left. You've got hard acts to follow there, James. So who's going to be your pre-headline act for Indie Fields?
Mr. Paul Weller, the Mod Father, and he's going to be playing the Stanley Road album in full. because it's just class. I listened to that a couple of days ago, and you forget how many great songs are on that album. Broken Stones, you've got Woodcutter's Son is quite possibly my favourite Paul Weller song. Every time we hear that, I remember hearing it, we'd done it live on Jules Holland years ago, and just the guitars in it, yet again, it just sticks with me. So that's an album that's very close to the heart as well, Stanley Road. Beautiful, beautiful songs.
Did you listen to that album knowing that was going to be your album, or at that point were you undecided and thought, I'm going to listen to it and see if it is worthy of an album playing for? Or was it just coincidence that you played it and then you thought, actually, yeah, that's perfect?
No, Paul Weller was the one that kind of came in at the last minute, but it was basically because I was in the car going to work today and Woodcutter's Son come on, and I was like, that's the one. That's the album. Because I was trying to figure out what albums to pick, and I was like, oh... But no, as soon as I heard Paul Weller's that Woodcutter's Son come on, I was like, yep, Stanley Road's, it's got to be the one. If you're not having Oasis, definitely maybe, or Morning Glory, it's got to be Paul Weller.
It feels like fate, right? Because I know we've spoken about getting you on the podcast for a long time on as a kind of solo guest. It feels like it was fate that you would hear that on the radio on the morning of the day you were going to go on the Fantastival podcast.
Yep, it's been a bit of a strange day, I'll be honest with you. My phone, my notes in my phone have been deleted, rewritten for this lineup. But yeah, Paul Weller, as soon as I heard that this morning, I was like, yeah, he's in. He's definitely in for that album.
All right, brilliant stuff. The Modfather is in. Only his fourth appearance on the Fantastival podcast. He follows Joe Topping, who had him as her headliner, Daniel Ash, Super Seconds, and Kenny Harkis as his headliner as well. So for fourth time, what has been picked, he's going to play Stanley Road in 4. It's going to be great. We're going to take another half-hour break, and then that'll take us to our headline act, who are going to get 2.5 hours to play and be your final act in Indie Fields. So, James, who's going to be your headline act?
This one's going to be a bit out of sorts for the rest of the lineup, but Idols. Honestly, it's a band in recent times that I've just fallen in love with. Just the raw energy, just everything about them. The way there's another one with a great stage presence. And they know how to command the audience. It's just so good to watch live. And I was due to go and see them last year, and sadly we had tickets and we forgot the date and we missed it. And I was gutted.
Oh mate, you forgot the date?
Yes, forgot the date. It was a Saturday night, and I'm sure I had something planned. And my friend texts me and he's like going, we were due to go and see Idols, and I was like, oh no. So yeah, not my. I must admit, that was not long after what happened to it.
Yeah, fair.
It was still one of the ones you look back and go, oh God, can't believe I missed them. But I will make sure they're on the bucket list. They're definitely top of the bucket list to see live.
I reckon they'll be back as well. They don't strike me as a band who are going anywhere kind of away. So I reckon you'll see some. I went to see a band like in November, and I look back now and I'm like, why? Like, it wasn't the same. I just couldn't get into it. So I think it might have been a blessing in disguise, maybe, if you weren't kind of in the right frame, like mentally to watch it. And then next time you go, you're in a better place and you can enjoy the experience more and see them for the wonderful band they are. Yeah,
it was just, I think the first time I saw them live was when they were doing a Glastonbury set, I think 2-3 years ago, and it was live on the iPlayer. And it's just, they were amazing. They were absolutely amazing. So yeah, I definitely have an Idols headline any of my festivals I've ever did them all. They would be the top guys. Great shout. They're headlining. They're getting 2.5 hours at Indie Fields. I've only ever been picked one time before on the Fantastival podcast by Helen Robinson. I think that was about 2 years ago when Helen was on in her Midway Madness slot. So great opportunity for the Idols. They're going to give us 2.5 hours. Then at 11 o'clock, they're going to bring back on stage Paul Weller, James, Ocean Colour Scene, and Jamie Webster. They're all going to look at you and ask you, Mr. Houston, what do you want us to play to close your fantasy festival? It's got to be All Day and All of the Night by the Kinks. Just, that would be such a good way to get every band together and just play as loud as they can. Just a fantastic song. I reckon Weller would be in his absolute element. To be fair, I think Weller would, Ocean Colour Scene. I think they all would, to be fair. Yeah. I'd like to hear an Idols take on that song. I think that would be quite interesting to see them. I think it'd be quite intense and quite quick. Yeah, I think so. But I heard them do Don't You Feel Like Crying. They've done that, a cover version of that on one of their albums, and it's just, they make it sound so unique, so raw. But I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear every one of the artists together doing that. That would be great. And just finishing at the end with the big guitars, fireworks going. Yeah, what a way to end.
Yeah, that would be amazing. All right, that is in the vault. So let's lock it in. So we've got Indy Fields. It's taking place in the country plate in the venue in the park where it's first held. We got Jamie Webster as your opening act. We got Ocean Colour sing Super Seconds. James as your midway madness act. We've got Paul Weller as your pre-headliner. He's going to play Stanley Road in full. And for your headliner, you're going to have Idols. And for your encore, they're all going to play all day and all of the night. Mr. Houston, are you happy to let that one into the Fantastival Vaults?
Yep, I'm delighted to get that one put in. It means I can take the notes off now and go, right, no more. No more deliberation.
That's done. The notes can be binned or archived or put in your spam folder, whatever you want to do there, you will go there. So let's talk about the future then. So last time, I mentioned it earlier, there was an ambition to record something. Is that ambition still there for you, James, or is it going to be more now about seeing what happens, I guess, after the open mic night? Would you still like to do something with the Murder Song of the Day guys from a recording perspective?
Oh no, we're still looking to do something. We were meant to get down to go and see Ian Frank a few weeks ago, but I had to go in and get minor surgery, so that kind of put that canned up. So, but that was to go down and record myself and Stevie T.
Oh wow!
We're going to record some stuff. So we've got a few songs that we've written, we've worked on together. So yeah, we've just trying to get it put it down now and get a wee EP. I think we've got 4 or 5 songs ready to go. So it's just trying to get together now to get it recorded, and once we get that done, then yeah, that'll hopefully get done soon.
That's amazing. You must be really excited about that.
Oh, it's great. See, when you listen, we're sending notes backwards and forwards, and you hear how it's starting to progress. It's exciting times.
That's brilliant. All right, so we've got that. So that's one to look out for. And like we mentioned earlier, September the 13th, right? It's all about Carlisle and Murder Song of the Day. So give that one a plug again, James. Give it as much of a plug what you want. So tell us again about where, when, raffles, whatever. Who's going to be there? The floor is yours, Mr. Houston.
We have got a fantastic venue, which I still can't remember the name because I've not looked it up yet. But no, we've got a venue all set up for the 13th of September, Saturday night. The doors open at 6 p.m. up until I think 1 a.m. in the morning. 1 a.m. We're going to have various members of the Murdered Song Collective doing open mic nights, and we're going to have a little indie disco at the end of it. And there's going to be raffles. I think the raffle's going to be taking place the night before. So we're going to open it up to the whole Twitter audience, get everybody involved, try and get as much money raised as we possibly can for Mind, Body and Soul, and also Macmillan Cancer. Two very great charities that we want to kind of help and raise awareness as well and raise a lot of money for. And yeah, just we've got lots of great prizes, great donations already sorted. Some more still coming in, which is even better, which I'm excited for. They'll be getting announced as soon as I get them. And it'll just be great to get everybody, as many folk there as possible, just to meet, just for the full occasion, just to meet people that we've spoke to for years on social media. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm actually quite proud that Stevie's got it sorted. he managed to get a great venue, and he took the reins, got it sorted, and then I decided to take charge of the raffle. So yes, if it all goes Pete Tom on the raffle, that'll be my fault.
Great stuff. Well played to you and Stevie T. If anyone wants to follow you, James, who doesn't on social media, where's the best place to follow you if they want to watch your videos or to keep in contact around the event? Where's the best place for people to find you, James?
If you really get an affliction for getting your ears hurt, you're probably best to be on Twitter. It'll be at James_Houston on Twitter, and that's or X as it's called now, but I think we'll still call it Twitter. But yeah, that's the place where if you want your ears to bleed, follow me there.
Absolutely. And that hashtag, really easy to find, right? It's just one hashtag, one word, Murdered Song of the Day.
Yep, Murdered Song of the Day. It does exactly what it says on the tin.
I wouldn't be too harsh on yourself. You guys all sound great, and it takes some utter kahunas to do what you guys do. I think it's so brave of you. I think there's probably loads of people. That's why I asked the question, right? Because it's easy to kind of watch the videos and go, whatever. But when you do it, I think it's such a brave thing, and the support you give each other is second to none. That's why I think that night's going to be such a great night, because you've got people meeting for the first time. We've known each other for years, and I guess it's like the podcast. People know each other not because they've met you, but just through this social media or hearing your voice on a weekly basis. That's why I think it's going to be such a beautiful evening for everyone who attends that event.
Absolutely. And also, just another wee bit of a plug as well, Mr. Jimmy Kay, that's one of the Murdered Song of the Day. He's got a great support slot with Skylights in Manchester. So yeah, that's buzzing. So that's another wee bit of a boost for everybody that uses the hashtag as well. It's possible, but it's possible. Anything's there. If you can try, if you've got the kahunas to try it and you're good enough, you'll get noticed. And Jimmy's fantastic. All the time in the world for that, man. He's magic.
That's great stuff. That is a perfect place to wrap this one in. So that is it. Thank you for listening to the 182nd episode of the Fantastival Podcast. If you've enjoyed this one, please subscribe, give the Fantastival Podcast a review. You can do that on iTunes, or give us a follow on Spotify, and please recommend the podcast to all your families and friends on Spotify. You can follow the show, you can rate the show, you can comment on the show. Really important to spread the word, because I'm still getting people messaging me going, I didn't realise the podcast was back. So maybe plug it on Twitter. So James is on Twitter, so am I. The algorithms on Twitter have gone absolutely down the drain in the last couple of months and years. So spreading the word is even more important than what it ever has been. On this podcast, we don't play music, but I will try and get a Spotify playlist from Mr. Houston about all the acts he's spoken about, and anyone else he wants to throw in there. That'll be in the episode description. We'll get a few links in there to useful links for you. So James, 182 done after your spectacular debut on 150. I know the lineup has changed from what you've said. It's been painful, but now you've done it. Now it's out there. You enjoy coming on the pod?
Yeah. If you have me. Gladly.
Yeah.
No, I've absolutely loved it. Thanks very much for having me on, Stephen. It's been one that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I got the bug, especially when you invited us on for the Christmas one, the Carnage, and I even had a turkey hat on that day, if I remember right.
Yes, I do remember. Yeah, great shout. We'll have to dig that photo back up in one of the tweets. I'm sure it's on my phone somewhere. Jesus.
Please don't.
So I'll be back next week with episode number 183. 183 is the last one before I go on my summer holiday. So please make sure to join me for that summer celebration. But until then, stay safe, my Fantastival friends. Please continue to spread the word. And that word is Fantastival. Thanks for listening.